Alright guys, hope y'all are well. We are back and I'm going to do another couple of movie reviews. We're going to cover Sully and Gleason. Um, and I didn't think I was going to actually do a review for Gleason, but as I watched it, I thought to myself, this really needs to be talked about because I figure the more you talk about it, the more people are going to want to see it, and the more people will try to go out of their way to find it on Amazon Video or Netflix or wherever your digital movies are. So I found it, however, on Amazon Video because I was actually gonna spend the $20 for the DVD, but it came up and told me it was on Amazon Video, and I really don't wanted to watch it. I didn't want to wait the 2 days to get it. But I guess since I'm talking about it, we're going to start with Gleason. It's basically the story of Steve Gleason, who, for those that don't know, is a retired football player for the New Orleans Saints. And his big claim to fame on the football field is after Hurricane Katrina, in the first football game back in the Superdome after Katrina, Saints were playing the Atlanta Falcons, and Steve Gleason actually got in and blocked a punt, and that kind of started the route of the Atlanta Falcons that day, and it just energized the entire city, and he is basically a god in the city of New Orleans now, and he will always be. When he retired from football, he was diagnosed with ALS, which is more commonly referred to as Lou Gehrig disease. And when he was diagnosed with ALS, or like a week or 10 days later, him and his wife found out that she was pregnant and they were going to have a baby. So, as before the disease progressed too much, they kind of made the choice to do all these video blogs for their son. Steve, telling him all these things, how to shave, how to talk to a girl, all these things that a child, whether it be boy or girl, needs their father for, all the guidance that they need their father for. Incidentally, their son was born. His name's Rivers, so all of his advice kind of goes man to man. But you can basically do that for anything, though. And this documentary basically shows, the progression of the disease in a way that I've never understood it before. I've never known anybody with ALS, so I've never had a real close tie to it, but it was interesting, it was sad, it was awesome, because even though his disease is progressed and he can no longer talk, he can no longer walk or do anything for himself, his outlook on life and being there for his kid and his wife and his family for as long as he can be and still be sorry, um, be there for as long as he can be, for the people that he loves, um, is amazing to see. Um, Usually in situations like this, people, when they get to this progressed of a stage of a disease such as this one, they don't want to be around because it's fucking hard on their family. It's, hard on them, so they don't want to be around. And he actually had that discussion with, I believe it was either his doctor or some doctor, as a part of the documentary, and he said, as much as this sucks, I still want to be here. I still, want to be here for my family, and I'm not giving up. So, as of today, I don't know how he is, or what he's doing, or, but he has more heart than anybody I've ever known of, met, or anything else in my entire life. They've got the Team Gleason Foundation, which helps to, uh, get people with ALS out and doing things and helping them to live their lives. Um, he actually championed a law that was passed and signed by President Obama to make sure that auditory devices, like speaking devices and things that make life easier for ALS patients, once they lose their abilities to speak or walk or whatever, got passed. And it did. So now, if you have, because of Steve Gleason and the work that he does, if you know anybody with ALS, getting the individualized things that they need is made a whole hell of a lot easier because of the work that he did. As far as reviews for this goes, if I could give this more than 5 reviews, I would. If you've seen it, or if you have Amazon Prime Video, look it up. It's called Gleason. It's G as in George, L as in Larry, E as in Edward, A as in Amos, S as in Sam, O as in Oscar, N as in Nancy. That's how you spell it. That's how you look for it. If you have Netflix, you can check there. I haven't looked. I haven't checked on Netflix to see if it's there. Or if you don't have access to either one, throw down the $20 and buy the DVD. Because the $20 is going to go to the Team Gleason Foundation, and it's going to help to fund programs for people with ALS and help them to get the things that they need. So if you only watch it once and pass it along or pass it to somebody else, that works too, because that's how word gets out. But definitely, if I could give it more than 5 wheelies, I would, because it's definitely well worth it, and well worth going out of your way to find out, to try to find, and take 2 hours to look at, to watch, because it tells you all about the ups and downs and ins and outs of all that. So definitely well worth the watch. And that brings us to movie number 2. That would be Sully. Now, I'm not gonna go through like all the details because I feel like that's been done ad nauseum and everybody knows about the Miracle on the Hudson and you know what went on there. But this kind of took you behind the scenes, you know, into the investigation and things like that. And you know, I enjoyed it. I really did. I thought it was really well done. It stayed pretty true to the story. For the most part, there were some things that were exaggerated because of the theatrical aspect of it, but it stayed pretty true to form, and it is also well worth seeing. And if you haven't seen it, it's one of those movies that I would definitely tell you to go out of your way to see. It is, I'm going to go ahead and give 4.5 wheelies out of 5. And the only reason I'm giving it 4.5 instead of 5 is because I saw an interview with one of the investigators after the, you know, of the whole thing after it happened, and he said they didn't depict the investigation correctly. You know, the way that the investigation plays out in the movie is not actually how it happened. I can't remember what he said actually happened in the investigation, but I just remember that he said how the investigation is depicted in the movie is in parts not how the investigation played out as it really happened. Now, again, this goes back to they may have put a little bit more drama in some parts, and this may be a case of that, but because of what I've heard, that takes half the wheelie off of the score. So 4.5 wheelies out of 5, highest recommendation, well worth seeing. It's only it's only about an hour and 36 minutes long, so not very time consuming there, and yeah, definitely worth checking out. So you know, especially if you're a history buff and like you like aviation and things about like air crashes and things like that, like me, it's well worth seeing and understanding, and it gives you new respect for the crew of the flight and the passengers, and you know the struggle they had to do just to kind of live, just to kind of survive. So you know, it very easily could have went you know, very much south, and it didn't. So much respect to all those guys, and highest recommendation. So Steve Gleason, his documentary, to recap, 5 wheelies out of 5. I can give it more than that, I would. And Sully, 4.5 wheelies out of 5, just because of the over dramatizing of the investigation in the movie. Well worth checking out both of those. Thanks for watching. I'll be back later. I love y'all. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for listening. Thanks for allowing me to do what I do. Because y'all weren't around, I couldn't do all this. So, I love y'all.